Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Nasty 3890 here with another MLB 16 The Show video. Today's going to be a new little series we're doing. We're going to be doing top 10 budget players at each position. Each of these cards are under 1,000 stubs each. Today we're going to be doing starting pitchers. I'm going to go over 10 starting pitchers. We'll do this for relievers and closers, and then third, short, second, first. And then I'll probably do around 25 outfielders for one. So let's get into it. This is 10 starting pitchers. Now, if you guys have any other pitchers that you think are really great that you've liked that are under 1,000 stubs, put them in the comments down below. So if someone else is looking for another pitcher or they want to look at, just try someone else. If someone else gets a lot of upvotes in the comments, they can look at that as well. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button so I know that you guys want to keep seeing more of these. So the first player we're going to be looking at, he pitches for the Boston Red Sox. Now, some of these I may not have anymore. I've used them all, except one I didn't use this year. I'll explain to him in a little bit, though. I was using Porcello. I just recently did the Red Sox Conquest, and I had to put all their players in, so that's why I don't have Porcello anymore. I like him a lot for a couple of reasons. He has good stamina, which is nice. So, I mean, he can go a solid game. Good control, 82 walks per 9. Not a strikeout guy, but he's really good at getting ground balls. If you look at his pitch repertoire, he has a 2-seam fastball, which is like a sinker. Doesn't drop as much, but he gets the job done. A 4-seamer, doesn't throw hard, though. Maybe 92, maybe 93 if you're lucky. A curve and a slider. That's what I like. I like pitchers who have a curveball and a slider. It really throws hitters off because they're not sure if it's going to go like left to right or right to left, depending if it's a lefty or righty, or more of like up and down. So having that option can really throw hitters off. If you can set pitches up, you can really do a really good job with him. He also has a changeup. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but you can make people hit weak contact with Porcello because of his control. If you can get the corners, those pitches are just off the plate. Have people chase, they're going to hit weak ground balls. We check him in the market. He's really cheap. 106 stubs. He was just upgraded to a silver. He was a bronze. I used him when he was a bronze, and he was still great. So there is the first option. Second option is a guy who's actually just got recently downgraded. It's Michael Pineda. His slider is still a wipeout slider. He throws relatively hard, about 93, 94, maybe 95. That slider is really good. It's not the best slider in the game. The best slider in the game that I've used is Syndergaard's new slider. But this slider is still very good, and he has a cutter as well. That's really good on the jam lefties on or righties. You can get weak ground balls with a cutter. And he also has a changeup, which I really didn't use that much. Mostly 4-seam slider, cutter. I wish he had like a curveball, like I said, so you can have that up and down drop. But everything's kind of just moving right to left. But yeah, he's a very good pitcher. He is more of a strikeout guy than Porcello. But he also has good control of 82 walks per 9 and 74 K per 9. Now, if we go look at his price on the market, he's on 277 steps. So both these cards are very cheap so far that I've gone over. Next, we're going to be going to the Detroit Tigers. We are looking at Anibal Sanchez. And again, he is a lot like Porcello. Not as much control, but he has the 4-seamer. He has a true sinker ball. He has a slider and a curveball. So like I said before, the slider and the curveball. He also has a splitter. I think the splitter this year, if you can throw it right, is the best pitch to get ground balls. It's better than a sinker in my opinion. I don't know why. I've just had really good luck with it. For instance, my favorite reliever I've used this year is 95 overall Jonathan Papelbon from the Red Sox Conquest reward for getting the innings and combining all the feeding all the players. His splitter is a lot of times it's swing and miss pitch, or they hit like a weak ground ball. And I mean, Sanchez, you can throw a complete game, 27 outs, get 22 ground balls. I mean, I love this guy's sinker, splitter, and then he's got the slider and the fastball and the curveball, and he has an okay fastball and doesn't throw really hard. As you notice, a lot of these guys don't because that's why they're cheap. But now let's take a look at his price on the market. And he's 188 subs. Again, very cheap cards, guys. This next guy does throw hard. Yordano Ventura. He throws 100. I've got him clocked at 100. Now, his pitch repertoire is not the best. He's got a 4-seamer. He's got a 2-seamer. He's got a changeup. The curveball's not bad. I was mostly using just 4-seam and a curve. I never really threw the changeup much. I threw the 2-seamer in on righties to try to jam them, or away on lefties so they could kind of hit like a weak ground ball. I was using that to try to get a ground ball, but that 4-seamer, if you throw it up and they can't catch up to it, keep throwing it. Throw that curveball in the dirt, just go back and forth. Very good pitching. If we take a look at his price, so he is a little more expensive. He's 834 stubs, but our budget's 1,000 and he falls underneath it. The next card we're going to be looking at is a Anaheim Angel. Now, this card I've not used this year. I used him last year for the longest time, and I'm looking at his stats are still the same. I probably will give him a try shortly once I start trying to get innings for the Angels. I'll definitely put him in my rotation, and I'll let you guys know if he's still the same. And if you look at everything here, the thing that stands out for him is that break, and the pitch that moves a ton is his curveball. Now, he's a left-handed pitcher. This is the first lefty that we've gone over. And his curveball moves so much. It's like a huge sweeping curveball. And it could start off like to a right-handed hitter away as a ball, and it can almost hit them. Like, it moves so much. He has a sinker. He has a cutter. So the sinker against the right-handed hitter will move away from him. A cutter will come in. You can use that to get the corners of the plate. He doesn't throw hard. He throws maybe 90 on a good day. His changeup's not bad, but he has, like I said, that curveball, and then with the cutter and the sinker. That's a really good combination. I like him a lot, and he's a lefty. Those soft-throwing lefties can be really good against guys who are very aggressive. They're never going to be able to wait on them. By the time they figure it out in the mounts, like the 6th, 7th inning, bring in your hard throwers in the bullpen, you throw them off. The next pitcher we're going to be looking at is a Seattle Mariner. Oh, we didn't check Santiago's price, just to show you that he's under 1,000 stubs. 104 stubs. Very cheap. Taijuan Walker, again, I've used him. I don't have him because I was working on the Ichiro. Let's take a look. He has a 12 to 6 curveball, which is, if you look at a clock, look where the 12 and the 6 are. It's basically top down curveball. It moves a ton. Remember what I said earlier about a splitter? He has a really good splitter. He has a cutter, which I like. That's a great pitch also to just jam lefties or to get right-handed hitters to chase and hit weak ground balls. So with this guy, Taijuan Walker, you're going to get some strikeouts because he does throw relatively hard and he has that curveball. But between that splitter and the cutter, I can get a lot of weak ground balls, which I love. I would rather have a guy hit a weak ground ball than a strikeout because I can usually get a guy to hit a weak ground ball in 1 or 2 pitches instead of taking 5 or 6 to strike someone out. And over the course of a game, in the 8th or 9th inning, your starting pitcher may have 55 pitches instead of 90 pitches, and they can keep going longer. So if you take a look at his stubs, his cost, he's not as cheap as the others. Still 665 stubs. Now, he is also young. He's a young prospect, or not a prospect anymore, but he's a young player. He could be getting upgrades, so he might even want to buy now. I'm not sure if he'll get a gold, but he could probably get like around 83, 84 this year. So keep that in mind. The next card we're going to be looking at is a Pittsburgh Pirate. Here we go. No, I've only used his flashback. No, I have used him in Battle Royale, and I've used his flashback. The flashback has a curveball as well. This one only has a slider, but I do like his slider. It's a really good slider. You take a look at his break, 95 break, that's mostly in that slider. He throws about 92, 93, by the way. I forgot to mention his name. It's Francisco Liriano. I can't believe he's already 32. I feel like he's been in the league forever, but he, like I said, his wipeout slider, he's got 2 different types of fastballs, so you can use that to your advantage to get the ground balls. And he also has a changeup, which isn't bad. It's surprisingly not as bad as I thought. But like I said, that slider is a wipeout pitch. Save that for when you got 2 strikes and throw it, especially the lefties. It's a wipeout strikeout pitch. If you need the strikeouts, he's a really good option to get him with. Next, we're going to be going to the Cardinals. We're looking at Mike Leake. Again, if you like see what I like, sinker ball. He has a sinker. He also has a curveball and a slider. I like having the 2 different ways a curveball can or a breaking ball can go. Either it slides or it can drop down like a curve. Also has a changeup. He doesn't even have a true fastball actually. But like I said, I like his pitches. He has really good stamina, solid break. He's not a strikeout guy, but he is a ground ball machine, and he has good stamina. He can really go into a long game, and you're not going to feel the fatigue on him. Go take a look at him in the market. 275 subs, very cheap, a very good option. Next, we are going to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, I have used them. I just finished the Beltray, so I don't have him anymore. It's Scott Kazmir. Now, he is taking a little bit of a hit on inside edge today. I was using his flashback for a while. It's the 85. This one's very similar. Again, he has a sinker and a circle change. Those both basically move in the same direction. The sinker ball is about 91. Changeup's about 82. Changeup's really good, though. I like it. Slider, very good. And he has a cutter and a 2-seamer. You can use those fastballs, like the sinker's a form of a fastball, with the 2-seamer and a cutter. You can use all those to your advantage to manipulate the hitter and have him hit weak ground balls. And that slider is a strikeout pitch for Kazmir. Not a bad option at all. I wouldn't say he's as good as Liriano, but not a bad option. And he's going for 405 stubs. The last card, the 10th that we're going to look at, is Jeff Samardzija, former White Sox and former Cub. He is now a Giant. He's got a 4-seamer. He's got a slider. He's got a two-seamer, a cutter, and a split. He does throw pretty hard. He throws about 95, 96 if you elevate it. He has really good stamina, good break. That's mostly in that splitter and that slider. That splitter is a wipeout pitch. That slider is a wipeout pitch. He doesn't have the best control at 75 walks per 100, but the pitches I feel like don't have control. I did kind of have some walk problems with him when I used him, but I have used him a lot. I do like him. I wish I could show you my stats with him, but I like him a lot, and he has like that splitter to get ground balls, sliders to wipeout pitch, 3 different types of fastballs to, like I said before, manipulate the hitters. So there's 10 starting pitchers. Let me guys know in the comments down below if you have any other ones that go for under 1,000. Real quick, we'll check his price. 506 steps, well under 1,000. But that's it for the video, guys. I'll be having a relief pitcher episode soon, so be on the lookout for that, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.